Good evening and welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord. There is building buzz around Justin Fields. Now, this is a guy that's been connected to Atlanta really for 3 years. Ever since he came out of the draft, the Falcons passed on him in favor of Kyle Pitts, but now they have an opportunity to trade for him. And if you're just going based on Vegas's odds, they just keep shifting in the Falcons' favor. So much so that I saw someone tweet out that they're as far as minus 400 odds to land Justin Fields. Now, Ryan Poles, the Bears GM, said that if a deal does happen, it will happen in the next 2 weeks before NFL free agency. And you have to imagine while all these guys are at the combine, these conversations are happening. They are getting deeper. They are getting hotter. What do you think? I mean, are we buying this? Is this just high? Listen, Vegas is where the money goes. They follow the money. So if a lot of people start betting on Justin Fields on the Falcons, they're going to lower those odds. So it very easily could be nothing. But where are you at it? Does this mean something? Is Justin Fields going to be the next quarterback in Atlanta?
Vegas is generally right more often than not. That's why they're in business, and that's why they'll always be in business. But like you said, there's so many different factors that go into how an odds maker comes up with a line. So just because it's shifting more in favor of the Falcons, it absolutely might mean that Vegas knows, but it also might mean that there's some a wave of people who are just now starting to bet the Falcons, and they've kind of have to cover their liability. So I'm not as entrenched in the Vegas odds as some people might be. Now, what I do think is that Ryan Poles' comments about I want to do right by Justin Fields, meaning it's going to happen before the new league year in a couple of weeks. That certainly has an impact on Vegas odds and how people are kind of, betting / reacting to these bets. Now, I want to say something entirely different than Justin Fields. If the Falcons trade for Justin Fields, it does not take them out of the running to trade up in the draft for one of the top 3 quarterbacks if that avenue opens. Obviously, if Justin Fields is traded, the Bears are expected to take Caleb Williams or one of the top quarterbacks with that first overall pick. But I just wanted to say, I was just thinking about this. Terry Fontenot has approached each offseason as Falcons GM the exact same way. He has tried to fill as many holes as humanly possible leading up to the draft. That way he can remain flexible. He can remain even keel and just kind of take advantage of a situation as if it presents itself. A la Kyle Pitts being the highest drafted tight end of all time. Bijan Robinson, the highest drafted running back since Saquon Barkley. So I do think that with all this, I know I'm kind of going on a tangent here, with all this Justin Fields to Atlanta talk, even if it does come to fruition, do not count the Falcons out with adding another quarterback in this offseason.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it. And it may not be trading up. I think that
it could be anything.
It's more difficult if you send a second-round pick to some other team. Now you don't have that second-round pick to move up in the draft. But even at 8, I mean, hypothetically, I am going on the verge. And I'll just give a hot take. I think Drake May is going to fall in this draft. I think Drake May is going to go around I think he could be there when Atlanta picks 8th. I think J.J. McCarthy could go in front of him. That's my hot take of the day. But it's very possible one of those two is available at 8, J.J. McCarthy or Drake May, and they very well could be a pick. Or it could be a guy like Michael Penix in the 2nd or 3rd round, or it could be a guy like Bo Nix or Spencer Rattler. So there's a lot of options. I actually would say no matter what happens with Justin Fields, the Falcons will take a quarterback at some point in this draft.
I don't think that's crazy to say. I think that, even if it's not Justin Fields and one of the guys you mentioned, I think it's almost more likely than not the Falcons come away with multiple quarterbacks, whether it's a free agent like Kirk Cousins and a guy at 8 like J.J. McCarthy, or in your case, you think Drake May, which I definitely do not think. I think it's going to be what everybody thinks. I think it's going to be Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels in that order, Bears, Commanders, Patriots, and J.J. McCarthy could potentially, fall to the Falcons at 8, but the Giants are at 6. They potentially might want to move off Daniel Jones this time next year. So I think that, the possibilities are endless. And, one thing that I really took away is the emphasis on, Raheem Morris and Terry Fontenot are answering questions at the NFL Combine with the knowledge or with the acknowledgement that, hey, everybody knows we're going to go get a quarterback. let's just let's present a front that we are open to all possibilities. They mentioned the A, B, C, D plan. And I said it the other day that D doesn't stand for Desmond Ridder. There is no future in Atlanta with Desmond Ridder starting unless there is a catastrophic injury to one of the quarterbacks they acquire this offseason. But I think that the Falcons are obviously, first and foremost, would like to trade up and acquire one of those top 3 signal callers, whether it's Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Jaden Daniels. But they seem very open to the idea of, that's not going to happen. And I don't think it's going to happen either. And that they're most likely going to pivot to a Kirk Cousins, a Baker Mayfield, a Justin Fields, a Russell Wilson is certainly on the table, should be on the table. So I think that, with all this Justin Fields talk, next team odds, I don't put too much weight into it. I think that the Falcons certainly have had discussions with Ryan Poles, Bears GM. But again, I think that there's so much that goes into Vegas odds that, you would be foolish just to, start counting your chickens that Justin Fields is coming to Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh was minus 150 a couple weeks
ago.
Now they're plus 600 or something like that. But let's assume for a second that Justin Fields is the guy. I know you have cooled down on the idea, but I think you cooled down on the idea more because of the fact that you did not think the Falcons were going to be as interested based on what Steve Weiss said.
Well,
based on the fit in the Falcons offense.
Fit. That's the main reason.
But if they go out and acquire him, those conversations have been had with Zach Robinson that he believes he can get the most out of Justin Fields. So do you change your mind there in that sense?
I mean, I don't think – listen, if you look Zach Robinson in the eye and he says, Chase, I can build an offense around Justin Fields and maximize his skill set, who am I? I'm a nobody. I absolutely am going to be like, yeah, bring it on. Let's see what you can do with him. I still have my qualms about it. I'm going to be hesitant. I will be excited because he's such a dynamic athlete, but you're going to have to he is not a fit for the Sean McVay offense. It's going to look a lot closer to that Greg Roman, Lamar Jackson style of offense. Maybe Justin Fields could potentially be that pocket passer play within a system kind of quarterback that we've seen in the McVay system, in the Shanahan system. We expect Zach Robinson to run at least a similar offense. That's a disservice to Justin Fields and what he can do with his legs. So to maximize his skill set, you're going to have to completely shift your offense to something, honestly, like Arthur Smith was running in 2022 with Marcus Mariota. Lots of zone reads, stressing the defense with Justin Fields' legs. That is what I envision. I don't envision, you shouldn't ask Justin Fields to be something to this point in his career he has shown an ability not to do.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a part of whatever offense that Justin Fields is. You're not going to have this offense that Matt Ryan was playing in 2016. But in that same breath, I mean, when you talk about the Sean McVays, you talk about the Kyle Shanahans, you talk about hopefully what Zach Robinson is for the Falcons, a big part of what they do is develop these guys. I mean, it's Justin Fields has had no chance at development with the situation that he was in. Zach Robinson, if he's anything like his predecessors, could be a guy that develops him into where he's much better in that area. No, he's not going to be Matt Ryan or Matthew Stafford, but he could get better in those areas. Yeah. And you're obviously not going to completely take away the athleticism part of it. So, I mean, there's a situation where Zach Robinson looks in Justin Fields' tape, says, oh, I can fix that. I can fix that. I can fix that. I can get him to at least this point as a pocket passer, and then we can utilize his legs and the other side. And he's a much better player. But the other thing I want to say is let's be real about what Justin Fields
I was about to say, to this point, he has not been good.
To this point in his career, he has been a bottom 10 quarterback in the NFL. Yep. Anybody telling you otherwise, there'll be some guy who'll be like, dude, he was ninth in the MVP race 2 years ago. That was a damn joke. That was a joke. This guy's been a bottom 10 quarterback in the league for the 3 years that he's been in the league. He has shown very little ability as a passer. He's never had more than 17 touchdowns. He has, more than 10 interceptions, more than 15 turnovers every single year. So listen, he's been a bottom 10 quarterback in the league to this point in his career. Doesn't mean he can be better, but even if he's better, we're talking about maybe the 15th best quarterback. Is that a guy you can win a Super Bowl? That's what the Bears are asking right now.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people are cherry picking stats where, and it goes both ways. And I'm talking specifically to Falcons Twitter, where they'll compare Justin Fields' Fields' stats, and they're eerily similar to Desmond Ritter's. But on the same hand, they're eerily similar to the reigning MVP in Lamar Jackson. That is that 20-game sample size that you've probably seen, is that ESPN graphic. It's making its round on social media. Listen, I can cherry pick stats and fit it to whatever narrative I choose. The fact of the matter is when I watch football games, Justin Fields is inarguably better than Desmond Ritter. He is inarguably worse than Lamar Jackson too. Like always, it's something in the middle. And Justin Fields, can he realize his full potential? Sure, but to this point in his career, he has shown no ability to consistently run an offense that Zach Robinson is expected to run in Atlanta. That's, again, not to say that you can't tweak an offense to fit your quarterback skill set, but let's call a spade a spade. Justin Fields has been bad up until this point. Now, circumstances matter. I know somebody's going to say, but Alex, Chicago has done this. Yeah, Chicago is an absolute crap show, and I said it yesterday. I don't want a Bears fan in here talking about how, like, oh, these Bears are a bad franchise. The Falcons are a bad franchise too. If you're a Bears fan watching this, I don't want you to think that I think the Bears suck and the Falcons are great. They're in the same conversation. The Bears have done Justin Fields absolutely no favors. This past year was the first year that he actually had some semblance of a supporting cast. Cole Kmet, a very good tight end, DJ Moore, and an absolute wide receiver one in this league. They invested in the offensive line. Like, Justin Fields had help this past year. Make no bones about it. He had help this past year, and he did improve. There is no doubt about that. He's coming off his best year. But let's not act like this guy is just like, you know, he's one touch away from becoming an MVP caliber player. He's not.
Well,
there's going to be work.
Sundays will be fun again if they go out there and draft Malik Neighbors and get Justin Fields. I will at least be able to tune in every Sunday and not poke my eyes out and cry about what I'm watching on Sundays. No, I 100% guarantee that it will at least be fun again to watch. Now, I don't know if we're going to win a ton of games.
Yeah, I want to win.
Yeah, well, everyone says that. The Falcons have never won in 16 years, so let's just at least try to have a little bit of fun. Coming up after the break, a couple of Braves veterans show out in their spring training debuts. We are going to discuss it.